This is Dan Vagabond Buddha. I'm in Cuernavaca, Mexico, and I'm going to take you on an Old Town walking tour. Let's do it. Hey, this is Dan of Vagabond Buddha. This is the video of us taking my Cuernavaca, Mexico Old Town walking tour. There's an interactive Google map for this walking tour. Just click the link in the notes below this YouTube video to get started. At that link, you'll also find Cuernavaca day tours, restaurants, best and cheap hotels, best flights, buses and trains, and a link to the best travel or retired cheap paradise locations in the world. Okay, here's the video. This is Dan Vagabond Buddha on our Old Town walking tour of Cuernavaca. This is the contemporary Indigenous Museum, and it is really nice. There's works here from all over Mexico, not just here in Morelos State, and it's quite nice. They really do some good stuff. I thought I had more video here that I could play for you, so I just decided to, and I don't, so I just thought I'd show you a few of my favorite pieces to help motivate you to go to this Indigenous Contemporary Museum. So here they are. Here's a few of my favorite pieces. There's some great stuff here, and it's a beautiful building, and so I recommend stopping by this museum. There's carving, ceramics, textiles, pottery, and from 12 different ethnic groups in Mexico. So that's the cathedral complex right there. And there's a T that's at the corner of Hidalgo and Morelos. And the entrance to the garden, Jardin Borda, is right at the dead end, and that's it right there. It's the entryway. That's it back over there to the park. I don't know if you can see that or not. We're gonna head over there, but first let's see. Chung Hui likes information. She's in here with the so it's 60 pesos for two. If you'd like to learn how to make money online or how to travel internationally, possibly with less money than you spend at home, feel free to get go to Vagabond Buddha and get a free copy of my book. Thanks. So this is Borda Garden in Cuernavaca, and there was a French conservative religious alliance here that tried to overthrow the Juarez government back in the around 1850, and this was the residence of Borda at that time, and Borda was a wealthy miner who made his riches, his wealth in mining, and but when the French supported conservative religious movement attempted to overtake the Mexican free government. Maximilian the First was installed here as an emperor, and he took this residence as his own. During the conservative religious rebellion called the Reform War, France installed a monarch named Maximilian the First. Maximilian converted Borda Garden into his summer house. Before that, this home was owned by the wealthy mining magnate Jose Borda of Taxico Mines. Today it's owned by the public, and it's possible to take a short boat ride on the lake. The house has been converted into a museum of 18th and 19th century decorations and artifacts. You can get an idea of how it was for the wealthy to live at that time. Let's look around. So this is a huge estate. This is the home part of it, and then behind me is the grounds, which has a lake in it apparently. Chung Hui wants to see the lake first, and then hopefully we'll have time to come back and see the decorations. Very peaceful in here. I don't know if you know about the Reform Wars, but the Roman Catholic Church was very tough on the poor Spaniards and indigenous people here. They had all these fees they had to pay, and it was enforced by the government. Ocampo tells a story where a poor man goes to a Catholic priest and says, "My son has died, will you please bury him with a religious ceremony?" And the priest said, "No, not until you pay me." Of course, he was a poor man. He didn't have any money. He couldn't even feed his family. And Ocampo tells this story where the priest says, the old man cries and says, "What do I do with my dead son?" And the priest says, "Salt him and eat him," meaning pay me my money and that you are going to feed your family with, and eat your child. Pretty outrageous. So that was one of very few priests, I'm sure, but that's the kind of story that will rile up the troops. Anyway, so this guy Ocampo came up with these ideas to separate church and state, which were French, which is the same source Americans had when they separated church and state in our Constitution. And that was what led to the Reform Wars. The conservatives weren't happy with that, so they wanted to install a dictator since they didn't like voting anymore. Powerful people are happy, well, everyone's happy with democracy until it doesn't go their way. So this is all on the Borda property. I don't see any boats though. You called it Shanghai, no boats. Want to check out the inside?
Sure.
Looks like they're refinishing the outside of the cathedral. The Cathedral of Cuernavaca. The Cathedral of Cuernavaca is behind me. That's the entrance you're looking at now. This main church of the Franciscans in Cuernavaca was completed in the 16th century. This is one of the chapels you're looking at now. The church was built by Cortes and doubled as a fortress. There are actually cannons mounted on the buttresses. Now the church is in front of you, but it's in the, as you can see, if you can, it's in the middle of being renovated. So, as I said, there's actually cannons mounted on the buttresses. Look for the restored fresco murals relating to Philip of Jesus, the first canonized Mexican saint. Of course, that's going to require you to be able to get inside. So hopefully when you're here, you'll be able to get inside. But as you can see, the grounds are gorgeous. The church itself is fortified, and so is the wall around it, which is quite unusual for a Catholic church. But this is one of the earlier churches in Mexico, and so there was a lot of fear at that time about the indigenous people, which of course they did go through some trouble in the early times as they invaded this country, the Spanish. But so there's the church. As you can see, it's cathedral. It's being renovated, and I just don't see the cannons on the buttresses. There's the buttress there. And they must have, there's a spot where a cannon could be up there. I don't know if you see that man standing. Maybe they pulled the cannon down, but The cloister for this church was taken by, the cloister is where the monks live, and Franciscan monks, of course, were the ones who built and lived here. So, was taken by the government during the reform laws, and it's now the cloister is now the Robert Brady Museum. I'll tell you about that next when we get there. Hey, if you're enjoying this, could you please like it, comment below, subscribe, or what's the other one? Share it on social media. That will help us in the rankings and the search engines. We'd sure appreciate it. Thanks. So this is the Robert Brady Museum. This was the cloister for the Franciscan friars or monks. And Brady was a wealthy American artist who purchased this property and maintained it and gave it to the city at his death. And it's supposed to be pretty much in the, they've maintained it pretty much in the shape that it had when he died and left it to the city. This is probably the official front door to Robert Brady's home, the artist, here in Cuenca. He bought this in 1960 from and made it into his home. And it contains a collection of art from all over the world. This is his art collection. And they've maintained it as he lived. There, you see the portrait up there. That's the original from Frida Kahlo. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But Brady gave the monastery house to Cuenca City in 1986 upon his death. This is his hallway. I don't know how far this is going to go, but let's find out. I mean, this is just how it was when he died. And boy, is it impressive. Clearly he was a traveler. There's his pool outside. Must have been the master. There's his sunken bath. It's just really a gem. I've been in more expensive homes probably, but I'm not sure I've seen one quite this well decorated in terms of just eclectic. I guess the downstairs is shut here. But wow. So about this painting, you probably recognize that face. So in 1938, Frida was the first Mexican-born artist to sell art to the Louvre in Paris. This is a self-portrait of her. Until the 70s, she was known mainly as Diego Rivera's wife. Today, Frida is known not only internationally as an artist, but an icon for the Chicanos, the feminist movement, and the LGBT movement. Prints of her work appear all over the world now. You almost can't go in a coffee house in Mexico or South America or Central America without seeing her work. Wow, it just continues. Just incredible artwork. And another sunken bath. Oh, there's a throne. What do you think, Cheng Hui?
I don't know who is this girl.
Robert Brady. He's an American multi-millionaire artist. He was his work was ceramics, but he collected art. This is his collection from all over the world. And he has good taste. I mean, it's loud, but it really goes together well, in my opinion. A lot of light. Tile, different colors. Like everywhere else, he's not afraid of color. Yeah, that's the stairs. I thought we were only going to be able to see upstairs, but we're seeing his indoor-outdoor patio here next to the pool. And it's like there's another dining room, formal dining room down there to go check. Just really extraordinary. So the Robert Brady Museum is on the most beautiful street in Cuernavaca. And so don't feel on the tour, don't be afraid to just walk. Enjoy this beautiful place. Wow, it's just gorgeous. Nice, huh? That's the park there. Do you want to see the park? Yeah, there must be some kind of line for something. This is Revolution Park. It's just a few steps from the Robert Brady Museum. Oh, they're painting. Oh no, they're crocheting. Oh, and the other crocheting. Wow, it's pretty, huh? Love this tree right here. Right now you're looking at the regional museum for the Cuernavaca and also the Palace of Cortes. And it's closed. Not open today, not open tomorrow. They're remodeling. The Palace of Cortes is the most famous building in Cuernavaca. It was built by the most notorious Spanish conquistador, Herman Cortes, and it was completed in 1535. It's one of the oldest European constructions built by civilians in America. Almost 300 years later, during the War of Independence, Jose Morales was imprisoned here in 1815. In 1973, after a complete restoration, it was opened as a regional museum for Cuernavaca for the entire state of Morelos. It exhibits artifacts from all over the state, from the first human inhabitation through current times. It also has murals created by Diego Rivera, and you don't get to see any of it, nor do I. Well, not on this trip. As a consolation prize here in Morelos state, in the capital Cuernavaca, to the right of Cortes Palace is a local artisan, actually they're everywhere, but I'm going to sneak in here and look anyway. In front of you right now, the big statue is of Morelos. The entire state's named after him, and he was a hero. He's a local hero in the War of Mexican Independence. And there's a huge area here of arts and crafts off to the right if you need to pick up stuff for your loved ones. We're traveling for 9 months now? 10 months? 10 months. So there's no room in our luggage to buy anything. We have to throw something away every time we buy something new, but it's fun to look. Oh, a lot of colors. So this is the Zocalo in Cuernavaca, Mexico, and this plaza and the adjacent one, which I'll show you in a minute. There's typically performance artists in the plaza, such as clowns, musicians, jugglers. There's also all sorts of local foods and sweets being sold. So this is Borda's Plaza. It's right next to the Zocalo, which I just showed you. And both of these plazas are in the center of town. And as you can see, there's food and entertainment, balloons. The locals all love these parks in Latin America. Hang out, chat, people watch. And it's a lot of fun. That completes our Cuernavaca walking tour. Remember, there's an interactive map you can use to take this tour. Just click the link in the notes below this YouTube video. At that link, you will find how to make money online or travel or retire cheap all over the world, including Cuernavaca. Make sure to subscribe at Vagabond Buddha or our YouTube channel to receive all of our travel and lifestyle updates. This is Dan of Vagabond Buddha. Thanks for listening. The world is your home. What time will you be home for dinner?